such islands in this game, and this is the first of what will hopefully be a series of relaxing ASMR wanders in Tears of the Kingdom, which I am calling Whispers of Hyrule. The map is vast. There is so much to see, and we will experience it together. But before we get too far, I just want to give you a quick reassurance that, at least in this first episode, there will be minimal spoilers. Now obviously, if you are trying to go into this game completely spoiler-free, well, you probably shouldn't have clicked on this video, because, of course, there is going to be some minor spoilers, but everything you're going to see here today is from the first hour or so of the game, and while I will talk a bit about lore and history, I won't give away any specifics of the story, and everything that you see here is quite early in the game. So, hopefully, that's enough to convince you to stay if you are a little bit sensitive about spoilers. But perhaps you are already playing this game, in which case you have almost certainly seen or been where we are going to wander today. So we begin our wander on the Great Sky Island, which is actually a series of islands spread out throughout the sky. And it's a windy morning where we begin our wander. We start by the shores of this relatively calm lake, considering how windy it is, actually. And I think we're going to take a wander this way, through this grassy field with a scattering of beautiful wildflowers. You might see some things as we wander around that will cause you to scratch your head. Again, if you've not played the game yet, I will be generally avoiding any spoilers about game mechanics. Well, there might be one or two powers that we'll use in the interest of traversal, but I'll try to keep it pretty minimal. This ruined building was once a Zonai structure. The Zonai are an ancient race This is a rather picturesque waterfall. There are many such beautiful cascades throughout these sky islands. Look at the fish jumping in the pond. I really like these giant lily pads and the pretty water lotuses or water lilies growing here in the shallows. There are clearly birds flying overhead. You can see their shadows. And we might actually see some flightless birds a little bit later in this wander. There are some interesting creatures that call these sky islands their home. And one wonders how flightless birds arrived here in the sky. But I suppose there are many ways that could happen. Love these flowers. This structure here is a Zonai ruin as well. The remnants of something perhaps much greater than what remains. It's difficult to say though. You can see the intricate carvings that the Zonai have left behind. Like walking in the shallows, hearing the splish splash. Link is getting a little bit soaked, but honestly, his footwear, leg wear, is not too bad for wading. Looks like it's already getting to be later in the day. Sun is heading down in the sky. We can see here many of the other sky islands that comprise this complex of the Great Sky Island. So many things to see, discover, and explore. It's quite remarkable. Now that sound, I'm not actually quite sure what that sound is, but it occurs every once in a while. It's almost like a bell. I think it might in fact be a bell, but I'm not certain. So just past these flowers here, we actually have sneaky little route that we can take. Away from the wind down here. There are many ways to traverse this landscape to get over water or obstacles, but this time we're just going to take the simple route. We're going to walk because we have this hidden gallery that takes us down behind this massive waterfall, this immense torrent of water, this sheet of water. In fact, it takes us down past multiple waterfalls. One wonders where all this water comes from. I mean, there's a lake that we saw, of course, but the rate at which the water is flowing out of it is very high. One would expect the lake would be drained pretty quickly, but never matter. There are perhaps more pressing questions like, how are these islands floating in the sky? Amongst many other things. This is, of course, a land, a setting, where we must suspend our disbelief. We're going to have to climb up out of here. And would you look at that? While we were passing under the lake and behind the waterfalls, night has fallen. Look at the beautiful stars scattered across the sky. The wind-tossed clouds skidding their way across the starry expanse. These glowing egg-like structures. Oh, we're gonna have to deal with that. As I was saying before we were rudely interrupted, these glowing egg-like structures are another Zonai artifact. They appear to be lights of some sort. It's a common motif amongst the Zonai ruins. You can see we find ourselves now on the opposite side of the lake from where we started. This looks like it was once some kind of wharf or jetty, a dock type structure, or maybe a bridge, as a matter of fact. It could be that too. There's that waterfall that we admired earlier, with the jumping fish and the lily pads. And that Zonai structure with the intricate carvings stretching across the lake shore on that side. You can see there are different climates up here in the sky as well. For example, in the distance you can see the snowy cliffs and icicles of the chilly portion of this sky island. Much like in Breath of the Wild, you have to be properly equipped to traverse the colder climates up here in the sky, either by eating food that gives you cold resistance or wearing appropriate clothing. I wonder, is that the dawn already? I see a tint to the sky up ahead. Perhaps not. It's difficult to tell sometimes because the clouds sometimes obscure pieces of the sky. That would be awfully quick if dawn was already approaching, wouldn't it? But time follows strange rules here, it seems. More of these Zonai lights illuminating the waving blades of grass. It's much calmer over here, isn't it? The wind has died down and leaves fall gently from the trees. No longer driven by the howling gale. Little fireflies flit around amongst the blades of grass. I do believe that is the dawn. That golden glow in the sky below the distant islands. And in the distance below all of the islands, a sea of clouds churns. More Zonai ruins, these ones covered in moss and lichen. They must have been here for eons. And a cozy little fire where we could cook ourselves a meal or spend the day or the night, for that matter. It's crackling cheerfully away. But I would like to get a better view here of the dawn. So let's try something here. This will be a minor mechanics spoiler. Why see it, well, perhaps you'd best depart now, but it's very minor. If we head into this cave, I can demonstrate. This is Pondside Cave, full of all kinds of moss, fungi, but what we've actually come here for is the new ability. So Ascend allows us to ascend through the ceiling and up above. Let's see what's above us right now, shall we? We swim our way through the stone and emerge on top of this cliff. And the day is already well along. We missed the dawn, but it's still morning. There's that mysterious, sonorous bell once again. A remarkable landscape. Or is it a skyscape? Oh, there's one of the flightless birds I was mentioning earlier. Minding its own business. Spinning in circles. They have a strange way about them. But I quite like them. They seem peaceful enough. Maybe we can sneak up and get a slightly better look. Seems to be grooming itself. Alright, we'll leave it alone. We don't need to be creeping on the local wildlife. But let's go get ourselves a nice view, shall we? Where we can really appreciate our amazing vantage point in the sky. I love these wildflower meadows under the spreading branches of these beautiful trees. And this tree would have once been truly magnificent. Look at the size of its trunk. Its massive roots snaking out. All that remains, though, is a stump. Noticed some mushrooms growing about the bases of the trees. Some of them are familiar from Breath of the Wild, like the Stamella shroom. Others unique to this sky biome, like the sky shroom. like just gently bobbing in the wind. And here we reach a precipice. Yet strangely, the wind dies away here to barely a whisper. Far, far below, through the thick sea of clouds, one can barely make out land. But we have a fantastic view of many islands in the sky from here. An overwhelming number of islands, and this is just a small portion. Well, my friends, I do believe we will end our wander here today, but there is clearly no shortage of things to see, places to explore, serene landscapes to wander in the sky and on the ground. And so, if you would like to see more of the Kingdom of Hyrule in Tears of the Kingdom, please let me know. It would be my pleasure to continue our wanders here. Thank you again for joining me, my friends. I do hope you enjoyed our relaxing wander today, and I look very forward to having you back here next time for more Whispers of Hyrule. Farewell for now, my friends. But before I truly bid you adieu, first we must thank some truly remarkable individuals, those individuals whose names you see right here. These are, of course, our amazing supporters of this channel on Patreon and YouTube memberships, and I appreciate their kindness and generosity so very much. Not only do they support the kind of content that I create here, that they hopefully enjoy watching, and you as well, but they gain access to some very exclusive perks, such as early access to my weekend videos, and at higher tiers, the ability to vote monthly on a video topic, and at the highest tier, the Fusroda tier, they get their names read out in every one of my videos, a special spoken shout out. So, our Fusroda supporters for this video are Rango Steel, Jake Loveney, Black Tooth Bob, Angel Garcia, Drummer Britt, Captain Vanquisher, Ragnarsson, James C, and Dragoon88. What an incredible group of individuals, and once again, a massive thank you to our Fusroda supporters and all of our supporters here for their generosity. If you, dear viewer or listener, would like to become one of these fine folks, support the content I create here, and gain access to some fun and exclusive perks, well, you can find links down below in the video description for both the Patreon and YouTube. Click on through and check them out. so much once again to our generous supporters.